Hi everyone, welcome back to another vlog from my in-laws home again. Kids had their exams and now it's vacation time. We thought to come for a stay over so that kids could have some good time with their grandparents and cousins. Unfortunately, not everyone's exams were over. So only parents, my younger brother-in-law and family are home. Anyway, we were there for a week. So this video was taken on one of those days. Hope you would like it. Keep watching. Before going into the vlog, some information about Oziva product which I have been using. This is plant-based Omega Multi and it's India's first plant-based Omega supplement with multivitamins. I have started using this and let me explain why. Omega-3 is very important for our body, which has plenty of healthy benefits, especially for the heart and brain, and also has inflammatory properties. Due to poor diet management and lifestyle choices, the risk of heart and brain diseases has increased to a great extent. About 70% of the world's population have no access to essential omega-3 fatty acids, which are EPA and DHA. And these are low in vegetarians and nearly absent in vegans, since the main source is fish and other seafood. So here comes the solution from Oziva Omega Multi. It contains 200 mg DHA and EPA, which is completely vegan and has multivitamins like A, D, E, and K2 MK7, derived from 100% plant extracts. Each capsule is an advanced formula with a combination of vegan omega-3, plant vitamins, and extra virgin olive oil. And this adds anti-inflammatory plus antioxidant formula for better immunity, skin, brain, and heart health. Now, how to consume the capsules? You can have it at any time of the day. It's recommended to take one capsule a day, 30 minutes after lunch or dinner. In case you have any acidity reflux in your health history, it's advised to take before meals. Anyone above age of 10 can consume it. So that includes children too, but above 10 years. Keep 2-3 hours gap between Oziva Omega Multi and other medication. For more details, do check the link in the description box. Back to the vlog. For breakfast, it was a different version of rice roti. The preparation, everything is the same. The water quantity is 1:1 ratio depending on the quality of the rice flour. Sometimes you might need 1.5 cups water to 1 cup rice flour. The only difference of this from the normal one is that the rice rotis are not thin or as flat as how it's normally prepared. It would be a bit thick and then cooked by spreading some oil. This is my husband's favorite and he can have it without any curry when it's taken straight from the hot pan. Even I like it that way, but today to go along with it, we prepared egg roast in a different way. Mom is really happy in getting the stand mixer as this does the job fantastically. The best part is that you can knead the dough as soon as it's taken from the heat, so you don't have to burn your palms kneading the hot dough. You take big size dough balls to prepare the roti, and cooking this in an iron pan makes it more tastier. Spread some oil before placing each roti. Again, some drops of oil on top. Soon after, keep it covered for a minute. Now for the egg roast, heat some oil and saute some sliced onion. Once the onion is soft, add chopped tomatoes. Along with that, add some salt. Mix well. Close the lid and let it cook on low flame. Add red chili powder and mix well till the raw smell has gone. Now switch off the flame and let it cool down. Once the onion mix has cooled down, blend it to a paste. Add it back into the same pan. Add some water to the blender to take out all the paste from it, but make sure you don't add a lot of water, the taste would reduce. Place it back on medium flame and let it boil for a minute. Add the eggs, of which each are halved. Mix slowly and then it's done. After sweeping, the dried leaves will be gathered in one place, and that's below a big mango tree we have. In fact, it's good to burn this way, as the smoke helps in curing the decay of the tree as well as the mango fruit. But make sure there are no other plants or trees around. After an hour of having breakfast together, we were back in the kitchen to start for lunch. In my other video from here, I had prepared mother-in-law's delicious chicken karai, and so many of you had sent me feedback with pictures. Very happy to know that you all relished the dish, and I have passed on your thanking messages to my mother-in-law. So on this day again, prepared a dish that's chicken stew, which is another amazing one straight from my mother-in-law. The best combination for chicken stew is appam, and it's one of Kerala's most authentic one. Since we are making it for lunch, we prepared ghee rice, which was a perfect blend with stew. For a side dish, my co-sister Sabina prepared with cabbage. Ghee rice recipe I have shown plenty of times, and if you need the recipe again, I have given the link in the description box. For chicken stew, you need to marinate the chicken pieces, that is 1.5 kg taken here. Add lemon juice, 3 or 4 tablespoons, half teaspoon crushed black pepper, and some salt. Keep aside, say around for 15 to 20 minutes. So meanwhile, we could get ready with the rest of the cooking preparations. For chicken stew, you'll need coconut milk. To get the good white color from the coconut milk, mom grates away the brown skin from the coconut, and it's completely optional. You can use a knife or a peeler. Using a knife was much easier for me. Heat a curry pot on medium flame and add some coconut oil. To that goes whole spices, which includes 4 cardamom, 6 cloves, few small cinnamon sticks, and a star anise. After a few seconds, add 1 cup diced carrots and 1.5 cup diced potatoes. This is an optional step. You can add this while adding chicken, but it tastes better when the vegetables are shallow fried. Make sure the flame is low to medium. After 3 or 4 minutes, take them out. And then goes in 2 medium-sized onions that's sliced. If you feel oil is less, do add more. Once the onion is soft and sauteed well, add 1 tablespoon of crushed green chilies, 1 tablespoon crushed ginger, and few curry leaves. Saute till the raw smell leaves. Then goes in marinated chicken pieces and mix well. Add some salt and let that cook on low-medium flame. Meanwhile, preparing the coconut milk, do not add so much water for the first extract. You need thick coconut milk. This is the first extract that's thick and creamy. You will need this at the end, so keep aside. Now extract one more time by adding some water. That's the thin extract or the second extract. Add this to the pot, and the chicken needs to be cooked in this. Cover and keep on medium flame. The chicken is cooked now, so it's time to add the thick coconut milk, which was extracted first. Give a mix. As soon as you see it starts to bubble a bit, switch off the flame immediately. Don't let it boil or else it will curdle. I forgot to take the video. Do garnish with some chopped coriander leaves on top. Lunch was ready by 11 AM, so we had plenty of time for other works. after we all got fresh, served lunch, and we all had it together at the dining table. Family that eats together, stays together, and food tastes better when we eat with our family. Lots of lovely memories are made when we gather around the table. So that ends for today's video. Hope you all enjoyed watching it. Do try the recipes. I shall wait for your feedback like every time. Stay safe everyone. Take care and bye-bye.